Hey, I'm Mike, Vanquish Self Defense Systems. I did a video the other day showing how a child this size-ish, or right around there, can choke out an adult if they try to pick him up. The same thing would work for a woman or anyone that gets picked up in that position. That guillotine choke is available. It gives you a fighting chance. One, it hangs all that weight off that person's neck and makes it hard for them to run around or move or get back to their car, whatever it is. It's really hard to carry, even go tie 2 bags of dog food on your neck and try and walk down the street. It's really hard. It's a lot easier for me to carry him when he's up there trying to scratch me and all that. So what I want to do is just address a few of the comments and kind of educate people on how it would work in a real life scenario, okay? For one thing that people said is that the attacker could slam the child. That is true. That could happen. There are counters to that, and there are ways to prevent that, okay? For one, if I go to slam him, I'm taught in MMA to not slam somebody down or anything in a guillotine choke because the curve of my neck, and when I slam down, a lot of times people end up breaking their neck because they drive their head into the ground and do that. So that's going to be one thing that's going to not work for that person. If they slam somebody down, they're usually always going to land on their head. Secondly, it's really hard to just grab somebody and throw yourself onto your head. It's physically hard. You instantaneously usually throw your hands out to catch yourself a little bit because you're throwing yourself onto your head on the concrete. And the counters to that is he can throw his feet down, okay? He can knee me from there. He can go hip down. That's the right way to finish the choke, is to put his hip down and to drive downward like this, which puts my head underneath him. So looks like this kind of. So if I come in here and he gets me in a guillotine, okay, I could slam him down, but it's going to be really hard for me just to do this and go straight to my head without catching myself a little bit. So if I go here, I'm going to probably catch myself on my way down. Secondly, his defense is going to be to throw his legs down when I go to slam him here. Boom, he can go here, and then he can try to get into his guard, where his legs wrapped around me and finish the choke. Or from here, this sprawl position, he can knee me in the face a whole bunch of times while he's screaming for help and all of that, and hopefully somebody comes and helps him, gives him some time. So, those are a few things that people commented. Another thing, if I were to, like I said, if I slam him down, he goes hip down. That's the way he wants to finish it. So if I were to slam him down and he can't get his legs free and I have him held here, I slam him down, he's going to want to turn his body to put my head down so that I smash my head into the ground before his back hits the ground, which is most likely going to crack my skull or break my neck. Number two, people asked, or people said, that they should just go for the eyes, the throat, and the groin. That's the common stuff that you're going to learn in like an old self-defense class. You're going to learn poke the eyes, karate chop the throat, and kick him in the nuts, stop 47 times. But in real life, like even here, if I try and kick him in his nuts, he's learned how to block his nuts since he was 5 years old, because that's something that every man learns to do. But the thing is, when I pick him up from that position, he can't bite me. He can try and reach back and get my eyes, and I'm not against any of those tactics. All those tactics work, but they need to be used with other things. They are not the only things that work. When I pick him up here, okay, if I pick him up, Daniel, go ahead, kick me in my nuts. Gouge my eyes out. Try and get a bite me. You can scratch me a little bit. He's not going to be able to do a whole lot while I'm walking down the road. If he puts his arm around my neck and cranks my head down, it's really hard for me to walk, because it's pretty much like breaking my neck and choking me at the same time. So that's going to be the answer to that. There's not any good groin strikes, there's no good throat strikes, there's no good bites or scratches or anything that's going to effectively stop somebody from that position. 3 is that people said that the person can slam them into a wall, which is true, okay? So if I get him here, and he starts choking me, he's going to have my head down, it's going to be hard. I can slam him into a wall, okay? He's going to want to shoot his feet back to kind of stop me. So he shoots his feet back against that wall and stops me from slamming him, for one. For two, if I slam him in his ear, He just needs to absorb the blow and finish the choke. If I hit Simon here, he can still choke me. He can still choke me right there and put me to sleep while he's up against that wall. So he's just going to have to keep fighting from there. Like I said, it's a fight. Different scenarios will play out. Number 4, people said, you can just peel the hands off of a little kid. Maybe if they're real little, like a 5-year-old or something, but a kid this size, that's not the proper technique. If he goes to try and choke me, go ahead. Okay, so he's going to try and choke me, and I'm going to try and peel his hands off. Go ahead, choke. I cannot get my fingers in there to peel the hands off. So for that 5 seconds while I'm fighting like that, or 10 seconds, maybe even 15 seconds, I'm fighting to do this. All he's doing is putting me to sleep, so it doesn't help me at all. No, I cannot peel his hands off, even if I'm a lot stronger than him, because I can't get any leverage to get my hands inside there. And then number 5, which is my favorite, you can't choke an adult, or you can't choke somebody stronger than you. False. That's been proven in jiu-jitsu 1,000 times. Look at Royce Gracie at 170 pounds in the first UFCs, beating every single guy who was 280 pounds. Why? Through jiu-jitsu. He choked them all out, or he tapped them all out with arm bars and different things. So, a smaller person can absolutely choke a bigger person. Can a child this size choke a guy my size out? Yes. Can he choke a guy who's 250 pounds out? Yes. Can a 5-year-old choke out Brock Lesnar? No. It doesn't work all the time. So that's why it's important for the parents to, first of all, pay attention to your children, but also to know self-defense. So if somebody does attack a 5-year-old, you know how to protect them, because there is no real good self-defenses for a small child against a grown man. Obviously, you want to scream, you can go for the eyes and all those things that you can teach them, but realistically, they need to be protected and watched in the first place. But as far as if he can choke me out, I guarantee you right now, he could put me unconscious if he got that choke all the way sunk in. So, and I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. We've tested it in class. I've tested it at family reunions with my uncle Garth and different people. He's 230 pounds, big, strong guy, and he was extremely surprised by how hard a kid this size or even smaller, my younger son, could choke, and he was not able to get out of him. So, just addressing all those things, those are the different things that can happen, and like I said, it's a fight. It will not work every time, but it definitely will slow the person down. You mix choking with screaming, trying to get help, and hopefully if you slow that person down enough, you might get somebody to come and help you, even if you can't finish that choke. So try that, and it's at least one option for being able to defend yourself and save your life.